Hi everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Title Scoop. This week we're going to talk about churches. It's just been a topic that I've had quite a few questions on lately, and I know that it's something that does come up from time to time, so I just thought it'd be a good time to just kind of go over some of the requirements and red flags that you might see, and just to remind you that whenever you've got a church, reach out to your underwriter because they are just a little bit different, and we are happy to help you figure out exactly what you need. So when you're dealing with churches, you're either going to be dealing with an incorporated church or you're going to be dealing with unincorporated. If it's incorporated, it's a little bit easier because you're just going to treat it like you do a normal corporation. You're going to need all the entity docs, you're going to need bylaws, you're going to need charter books, constitution. They're usually pretty structured and they know the process, so they're going to provide you with a resolution that really kind of outlines who's going to be signing. And then when you're recording the deed, it's going to be signed usually by an officer, president, vice president. The other thing just to remember though is that we are with the church a lot of times going to be getting it's basically a letter or a document of some sort from the church secretary that outlines the election, really the notice that was given, the members, the trustees, the acting trustees, the meeting that occurred in order for the church to approve the sale, and then who said yay and nay. Those are all really important just so that we know that the proper process was followed. And again, that stuff's a lot of times outlined in the bylaws, but it's just good to know that we're going to have kind of two different forms. We're going to get the documents telling you what to do, but then again, the secretary is sort of going to outline what happened in order to say it happened, and then the resolution approved by the proper people. So again, when you get these, reach out because they can get a little bit complicated. They're a little bit different, and we're happy to look at them with you and help you make sure you're getting everything you need. The other thing to know is some of the churches are a little bit even more organized. And so I think the Methodist and Christian Scientist are the two that kind of pop up in my head, that sometimes you're going to need something from the parent organization because they might have to get some type of approval from them in order to do a sale. So just so you kind of have that in the back of your mind, that there are sometimes another layer of docs that we may need. And again, we're happy to help you with that. So when you have an unincorporated church, it's a little bit different because it's really seen as not an entity at all, and the title to the church is really held in the trustees. So that's something that gets a little bit confusing because people don't really understand that. They think they formed a church and that they can sell, and we usually need a little bit more information. We have to really be careful on these to make sure we're getting all the proper signatures, all the proper approvals, so that we're not looking at a claim later down the road. So when you have an unincorporated, definitely reach out. We need to get basically as much information as we can. They're usually going to have bylaws, a constitution, charter. A lot of times those things will spell out. The bylaws are great if you can get them because they spell out usually like who the acting trustees are, who the pastor is, who can sign documents, what the process is for election, just so that we know that they have a process and that they're following it. And then again, we're going to get that church letter from or document from the secretary with a seal that really outlines that they did everything they said they were going to. A lot of times it's outlined and they don't even realize that it is, and then you get an email saying, oh, hey, Pastor John's going to sign, and it's like, well, we need a little bit more information. So make sure we're going to get that. We're also going to get a resolution, and that's usually going to be signed by all of the trustees. Again, it'll tell you in the bylaws, but then also a lot of times I've seen where the officiating pastor or the current pastor has to sign. So really we have to look at that stuff to say, okay, who can sign and how's it outlined and who do we need to sign? And again, if it's a trust that's not incorporated, the trustees are going to have to sign everything. Something else just to know is if they buy the property and they're not incorporated, but then they incorporate later, you need to know that it doesn't just automatically transfer to the new corporation. So if that happened, we need deeds from the trustees to the new corporation, and then the corporation can follow the regular corporate laws that we normally have. But again, just because they incorporated after the fact, they actually still need to convey from the trustees. So again, these are a little bit different, and when you get them, reach out because we don't see them so much that it's something that we do all the time, but it's something that at least as underwriters we see frequent enough that we're happy to look at them with you and really determine, again, if you have all the documents that you need. So with that, we're done this week. If you have any other questions or if you have any topics you want to discuss, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.